Football Friday here on the Audible. Kim Bokamper and Joe Rose with you, and we're in Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas Aquinas High School for St. Thomas Aquinas and Deerfield Beach. Both teams 3-1. Both teams with aspiration. Joe, this is going to be a very good football game because they play each other a lot.
Right.
They know each other. Bit of a rivalry here. They've split series a little bit, and so I think this is going to be one that everyone's going to want to pay attention to.
Deerfield Beach believes they can win this game. Both teams got great defenses. We're going to be getting into some of that. A lot of D1 players in this game tonight. St. Thomas got shut out, something that hasn't happened in years and years and years. They're going to be pretty motivated.
Over 300 games.
That's amazing.
Long way to go. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Dolphins as they get ready to have their home opener on Sunday when they face the Titans at Hard Rock Stadium.
Right.
You are watching the Audible. It is Football Friday, and it's presented by UHealth. We always want to keep them in touch with us. But, Joe, let's kind of, before we do this, I also want to tell you this. You can catch this football game if you want to see it live. Miami Dolphins High School Live show page on Facebook. It's the Miami Dolphins High School Live show page on Facebook. You can watch St. Thomas and Deerfield Beach game live. Keep an eye out for Ndamukong Suh. He's going to be out on the field. He'll be in attendance. I think he's going to go out for a coin toss. And, Joe, this is kind of just a continuation of, Adam Gase and the Miami Dolphins welcoming high school teams out to training camp and getting to know the players, and the players actually want to come out and see the high school games because they feel a kinship with these kids now. And I think it's great for both the Dolphins, certainly great for the high schools, and it's good for the community in general.
Yeah, I totally agree. Hey, Bo, it's amazing it's really taken this long.
Yep.
Because all the guys in the pros all were here at one point.
Yep.
Good teams, bad teams, but they all played high school football on their way to the NFL.
Yep.
So they get it, and you're right. Ndamukong's going to be here. We've been getting Miami Dolphin players with us every week coming to these high school football games on Friday night. Really adds a lot to the games. It's great to see.
We've had Isaac Asiata, Kenny Stills came out. I forget who else we had in these games, but they've been coming out each and every time. And, Joe, we've kind of missed the last couple of weeks with the travel and everything that's going on, so it's really nice to be back in this atmosphere. And this is really one of those atmospheres. You talk about George Smith, the guy that's been the head coach of this program. He's the AD right now. And really, when you look nationally, really one of the iconic high school coaches in the country. And you look around, Joe, what this school is.
Oh.
Joe, you and I have seen this school for years because both your kids, my kids have gone here and been here even before we had kids. When this school wasn't quite where it's at right now. And from an athletic standpoint, from a football standpoint, it's amazing what they've done building up this school, building up the facilities, building up so the kids can have first-class trainers, first-class facilities, all those types of things. You look at this stadium, it is just an awesome place to play football.
The house that George built is impressive. Everything about it. Everybody that comes here, no matter where we are, we're in Northern California. Kim, Bo, and I are both from there. And we always laugh. You go out there and they go, hey, you guys by St. Thomas Aquinas, And they know about the school. It's a top 5 program in the country every year. And the facilities here, as you said, it's got the feel of a junior college, not a high school.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Joe, let's turn our attention a little bit to the task at hand for the Miami Dolphins. They're 1-2 going into this game against the Tennessee Titans. They finally, 5 weeks into the season, they finally have their home opener. The last team to have a home game for the season. And I think this team's going to be fired up. But, Joe, this is a very pivotal game for this football team. I mean, you can't, last year they were able to go out and after going 4-1 to start the season, turn it around, win 6 straight. Joe, you can't do that every year. You can't rely on that. So I think this is a game that the Dolphins, for a lot of different reasons, the Dolphins need to find a way to win this football team. And the way they need to win this football game, they've got to discover their offense and get this thing going in order for everybody to feel good about this football team, including themselves. I think they win this game, big dose of confidence, and almost a breakthrough game for them where they can go out and maybe just get that monkey off their back.
There is a lot of parts why this is important. They're averaging 8 points a game. You can't win the NFL. Last and third down conversion. The overall yards on offense got a lot of bad numbers. But, Bo, they can flip it. If they can just play well at home, get this thing. This is the first home game. Last week it was not a home game. This is going to be a home game. Play well. You're 2-2, and everybody will forget about those bad numbers. And they can feel good looking ahead that they can do it because right now, Bo, it's hard to find guys on offense that are playing well on this football team. Defensively, they're fine. Defensively, it's been good enough to win all these games, but they're not getting any help from this offense. So I'm with you, Bo. I know it's only game 4, first quarter of the season, but it is a big game.
And, you know, if you're looking for a reason, if you're looking for something to kind of lean on to get you feeling good, I just go back to the New York Jets, Joe. You remember we went up to New York to the Meadowlands to play against the Jets up there. They were 0-2.
Bad.
And everything you heard,
Done.
they're the worst team in football.
Yeah.
They're playing for the number 1 pick. They can't play defense.
That's right.
They can't do this. They can't do that. And I kept saying on every show that I did, I said, you know what, the one thing that I worry about with this team, it's their home opener. And home openers are always special. You always get jacked up for the home opener, and they go out and win that football game. They win their second game. Now, look, they're right in the mix at 2-2.
Absolutely.
Behind Buffalo at 3-1, who never expected that. And New England down
3-2 now.
New England's lost 2 home games, which
haven't seen that in a long time.
And look, almost lost the third one. It wasn't for a touchdown pass by Tom Brady with 24 seconds left in the game. They'd be 0-3 at home. So it's been a crazy year to get things going. All you need is to look at the games over the last couple of weeks. But the Dolphins can't worry about that. They've got to worry about themselves.
Play well at home.
This is one of those games that I think if the Dolphins play the best they can play, if that offense can get in gear, I think they beat this football team. But they can't do it by going out and playing a mediocre football game and having that offense continue to struggle and force that defense to just camp out on the field, because that's what's been happening over the course of the first 3 games.
The offensive line plays well.
Yep.
Jay Ajayi runs well. Jay Cutler will play well.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's in that order. Then all of a sudden, the 3 wide receivers.
Yep.
We're talking about all the big plays they're making. The J train's running hard. I think it's all connected instead of this all the complaints right now about Jay Cutler that we're having. It can turn around in 1 week playing well at home.
Well, you start running the football, Jay Ajayi, all of a sudden play action comes in.
Everything.
When play action comes in, then that stand in the pocket, take the ball deep down the field, that becomes part of the offense, and it's the key. And, and it's funny, Joe, because I talk to people, and there's a feeling around with people that follow football that the game's all about passing. Now, look, no one cares about running anymore. It's all about passing. Every football team in the National Football League has 2 goals. Run the football.
It's never going to change.
And stop the run. Those are always number 1 and number 2, and then go to the passing game after that. Those 2 it's never going to change, Joe. You can't just stand back there and throw the football. Not with the sophisticated defenses.
Totally
not with
agree.
teams that are going to throw blitzes at you that you don't know where they're coming from, and have a quarterback just stand there. You've got to be able to run the football to keep that pressure off of you.
It is pass happy. No question the rules are set up for the pass offense to have success. But it's still about running. I was looking at the amount of teams running for over 100 yards. We're getting ready to play a team that's running for a tad under 140 yards a game in Tennessee. They want to physically get after you. Probably the best pair of tackles in the game. They're going to get after it, man. And they want to get their passing game going, but they want to do it when they want to, and they're going to run it.
Oh, and you look at Murray and Henry back there, both big backs, and both do 2 different things.
That's right.
One guy wants to pound the ball
one
on
is a
you.
bruiser.
The other guy wants to jump outside, get around
That's
the perimeter, and run. So, and then now you add to that, if Marcus Mariota is able to play, he's already rushed for almost 200. He's rushed for 119 yards.
3
touchdowns. And this is a guy that, not only can he extend plays, but he can turn a negative into a touchdown on you, whether he's 10 yards from the goal line or 40 yards from the goal line. He's got that ability. We've seen him do it now for a few years in this league. So if he's playing, if he's healthy, that just adds another element that's going to make it very, very difficult. And that offensive line and those linebackers, this is one of those games, Joe, where they got to be stout up front, and they got to be very, very disciplined when it comes to their gaps.
This will be a good test for the run defense, so front 7 with Ndamukong Suh and the gang to see how they play against this. By far their biggest test coming up in this one at home.
Joe, I've been around these guys. You've been around these guys. This is an angry bunch right now.
Yeah, frustrated.
There's some practice, so the offensive line getting into scuffles with guys, and I like to see that right now. That's where it needs to be. They need to be in that type of situation.
Right. Totally agree.
No doubt about it. Hey, you're watching Football Friday with the Audible here, presented by UHealth. It's going to be the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders against Deerfield Beach. Game starts here at 7:30. You can bet the stadium's going to be full of people, Joe. Obviously, on the home side, heck, I've been here in games where it's been so full on the home side, people go sit on the visiting side.
Oh, yeah.
So they can get a seat.
All the big games, I'm on the visiting side. Yes, that's where I spent the last 8 or 10 years on the other side. But there's a great atmosphere here. It really is. And Facebook, as you mentioned, that game's going to be on Facebook tonight. They got cameras everywhere. So if you want to watch it, should be a heck of a game for Broward County, Deerfield Beach, and St. Thomas Aquinas. And by the way, there's another good one coming up. Cardinal Gibbons and American Heritage Plantation is going to be a good one too.
George Smith in the house right there. The man that built the house right here, George Smith. Hey, Joe, we've done 3 of these shows in Dade County I believe it's 3 of the shows in Dade County. Now we're in Broward County, and we've talked about Dade County, the quality of the play in Dade County. And it used to be that Dade County was kind of the king of South Florida, and Broward was kind of a little stepchild. Right. Broward now is, I think, caught up to Dade County as far as the quality of
top
the team.
Schools, yeah.
The top schools. Maybe not depth, maybe not
no,
across
I agree.
the board.
Agree with you,
but
Bo.
I think there's as good as schools here in Broward County. When you look at Deerfield, you look at St. Thomas, you look at
American Heritage and Cardinal Gibbons.
You look at all those schools.
I agree.
They can compete head-to-head with those guys down there. Now, like you said, may not be the depth of them, but that's coming around. So you see some good football up here, and as many kids as you see going to D1 schools in Dade County, there's a bunch of them in Broward County. They're heading all across the country to these D1 schools, and it shows you the quality of the game down here.
And for people that might be watching this right now that aren't from South Florida, we got Dade County and we got Broward County, and there's a lot of pride in both counties on who's the best. And you're right, Broward's always played the little brother to the Centrals and North Miami and Miami Beach and Northwestern and all the rest of them. Carroll City's got a great program, and so it's a great opportunity for the top schools. We're going to see these games coming up the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to the coaches from both teams, Roger Harriott from St. Thomas, Javan Glen from Deerfield Beach, and he's been sick. Missed a couple games. And look, both these teams have been through the hurricane and everything that came along with
Everybody
that.
had to make games up.
Yeah, games up, missing games, all those types of things. So they've both been through the same thing. Deerfield lost the game in the road against St. Joseph in New Jersey. You talked about last week was St. Thomas going to Arizona,
losing that game,
a football
getting shut
game
out.
there, getting shut out, and I know that didn't sit well with George, and it didn't sit well with anybody here not to be able to score points. I think it's 300 and some odd games that this school hasn't been shut out.
That's crazy.
Decades of football, so you can bet that they're going to want to bounce back and prove that was a little bit of fluke for them. Let's go ahead and get some questions here while we're waiting. Hey, guys, as a high school kid, how cool is it to have Sam Madison and Jason Taylor as coaches? Well, they've had Chris Carter here coaching. Michael Irvin's been on the sideline coaching for the team.
I was going to say it's a little different here than the rest of the schools because they lead the league right now in active and former NFL players. This school's been a factory. Right now, once again, I think it's at 14 or 15 active players in the NFL. Went to St. Thomas Aquinas. So there's a lot of celebrities. We just saw the Blades brothers here.
Yeah.
Benny and Brian Blades,
of
course, great players in the NFL for a long time, went to the U. Any week you come here, you're liable to see a lot of people that used to play in the NFL.
Well, Joe, you talk about the Blades brothers, you talk about Michael Irvin, you talk about all the guys that have played here and
their kids played here,
and gone to UM. And there are similarities between the two programs. They all like to go back to the U, right, and be around the guys.
Right.
And the guys that played here all like to come back here to St. Thomas and be around the guys and be around the coach. Because we talk about George, he coached all those guys, most of those guys all the way through. He's only been out of it for the last, 10 years or so of coaching. Now he's the AD here. But so there's a lot of history here and a lot of reason that these guys want to come back and be a part of this. You're watching Football Friday on the Audible, presented by UHealth. We're at St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale. And again, we talked about Ndamukong Suh going to come out here, watch the game a little bit. Can you imagine?
No.
If you're a high school kid and you're getting ready to play a game, and all of a sudden here comes Ndamukong Suh.
One of the team captains for the Dolphins comes out
and goes out and for the coin toss. Well, not only one of the Dolphins team captains, multi-time Pro Bowler, one of the great players in whatever position in the National Football League, and he's showing up at your high school game.
That'd be a little different.
Yeah.
I asked him, we're giving him a hard time today about, the kids, they know his reputation. It's kind of a badass, and so they're looking at him, and he says, just come up to me, and it's good to go. So.
Oh, good stuff. All right, let's go. So anyway, now they got Sam Madison, Jason Taylor coaching here. By
the way, did you see Jason Taylor on the sideline?
My man's out of control, man.
Oh, my gosh. He's screaming and yelling. Those guys jump off sides. He thinks he's Don Shula.
He makes George Young look like Lovie Smith out there on the
sideline. You mean
sideline.
George Smith? Oh, yeah.
George
Smith. Yeah, Coach Smith get after it pretty good now.
No doubt about it.
He's still a fireball.
No doubt about it. Let's keep on moving on here. Okay, let's go. Let's get to Monsignor. Monsignor Kelly, come on over here. Monsignor,
Father Kelly, are you kidding me?
Hey, Father Kelly.
Father Kelly, how you doing, man?
Father Kelly likes some airtime.
Father Kelly,
Right,
this is
Father
good
Kelly.
for business.
Yeah.
You got any good prayers, you can lay it on us. Bo and I haven't been really good. Sit down, spend some time with us here, Father.
You know, I know he's a little older now. He's about probably 52, but he still looks like he's 21.
He still likes his football.
Likes his football and loves to be on camera. Loves to have his face
I'm
shown
in
on camera.
diminishing age at this point in life, okay? So I wish all of you could do the same, and someday you will.
We will, no doubt about it.
I'm still here and delighted to be here.
Monsignor, we've been talking about this program and how over the years
What
you're
you've built.
sitting around
Wow.
here and you look at the facilities and you look at what these players, the opportunity they have to come here to play with the facilities, good training, good good conditioning. You got the great weight room. You got everything. Really one of the great spots in the country to play football. But I know what you're most important to you is the high academic achievements of the school and the students that have come here, and then the student athletes that have played here at St. Thomas.
Well, you've got to see St. Thomas as a total program. Highlighting any one aspect of it doesn't just do justice to it. In reality, it's an experience.
Yeah.
We have probably 1,100 athletes, and in the football dimension, we probably have 300 plus.
Yeah.
But we have so many other great athletes, but we have a lot of students, so many, and they all mix and interact. So the non-athlete students and the athlete students benefit from each other in the excitement, the energy, the motivation, the challenge. And I love to see St. Thomas, not in any one thing, but I'm so proud of athletics. I grew up in athletics.
Yeah.
I fully espouse and support. It's a wonderful experience for a teenager to be challenged, motivated, excited, beaten up every now and then, I suppose, but nevertheless, it's a great program, and I'm delighted to be a part. And I just want to acknowledge all those who've contributed in any way, not simply financially, but in effort, in muscle, in energy, in pain, and suffering, and motivation, and energy, and above all, in example.
Yep.
So that old coach behind me here, old George Smith,
Yep.
dinosaur, wonderful. And he has built a phenomenal reputation here, but we have so many other wonderful coaches.
Yep.
Roger
Yep.
Harriott right now, one of our graduates,
Yep.
delightful, and we have so many other graduates who are coaching around the country. So all I can say is it's a privilege to have you here, both of you.
Thank you, Father.
Great to be here.
I hope your golf game has improved because the
Oh, it's
last time
terrible, Father. I know. You're right. Go ahead and take a shot. They all do it. That
Last time
awful golf game of mine. I know.
Last
Go
time I
ahead.
saw you I thought it was a driver you had instead of a putter. Okay, but that's okay.
Hey, well, now he's ripping my golf
He
game.
said next time he plays with you, he's going to wear a hard hat. Father, we got to let you go. We got your coach over here, and he's got to get
Okay,
ready.
thank
for
you.
the
Father,
football
thanks
game.
for being with us.
No, that's good to see
Thank
you.
you so
Kelly,
much.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you. Always a
Good to
pleasure. Yeah, I was going to ask you. I didn't get to ask you, but how you ever had to deal with a lot of knucklehead parents like us over the years?
No, you're great. just be around, okay?
All right. Coach, let's get Coach Harriott, Roger Harriott in here. Been here for 3 years as a head coach, 20-4 as a head coach. He's got a championship, always battling for a championship, as you said. An alumni of this school. Coach, first of all, what was it like for you to be able to come back and take over this storied program as a head coach?
Words would never do it any justice. You know, I was fortunate to be led by Coach Smith as a coach and my AD when I went to school here from 91 to 95, and Father Kelly, who you just had an opportunity to meet, was the lead and still is the leader of our school. He's an exceptional leader, both from a spiritual and an administrative standpoint. So it's been a tremendous blessing for me and my family just to be back here at this school that has done so much for me as a husband, father, and community leader.
Roger, I want to ask you about the pressure of coaching here. It's a national powerhouse. Listen, let's get right to
All
it.
you need to do is look over your shoulder.
You
right?
got 2 or 3 national games. You know they're going to play. What's that like,
No,
coming here
man.
knowing what the expectations are?
I mean, the expectations and the pressure is more intrinsic than anything else. You know, this is a extremely blessed environment where the support is authentic, and the last thing that they want any of the kids or the coaches, teachers to feel is an unhealthy amount of stress when it comes to educating or teaching. So I haven't really felt that type of pressure with regards to winning. It's kind of just ingrained in our tradition here. It's somewhat of a blessed expectation. You know, and it's a tremendous amount of focus that we put on ourselves and the players. But however, when things don't go as expected, we take that opportunity as an advantage to overcome some adversity and teach our kids what it really means to utilize these challenges and get motivated. It's an inevitable part of life. Nobody likes to go into a situation and lose. However, when that opportunity does present itself, we take full advantage of it. We take all the learning lessons that we can and help them to become great men later on in life.
It's like Father Kelly was talking about. You know, it's a great environment. You talk about the environment athletically, no doubt about it. But these kids come here to play football here.
Absolutely.
But they're here to get an education. And grow and get a chance to go to a Division I school or whether it's a Division II school, wherever they can move on. And not only the football team, but when the student population in general. You look at the alumni from here, from civic leaders to national leaders to heads of corporations. I mean, it's. I don't care whether you're a football player, a basketball player, a baseball player, or if you want to be a history major in college or whatever. The opportunities are for you to attain the highest level. Certainly is available at every aspect of high school life at this school.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very competitive atmosphere, not only on the field or court of play, more so in the classroom. And our teachers and coaches do a great job of facilitating the spiritual aspect of what it means to meet expectations and be more of a servant leader, which is obviously advantageous to the growth of any human being when it comes to developing character. So we have a tremendous sorority/fraternity type of feel at St. Thomas. We're extremely family oriented. There's a great deal of spirit and pride here, and it's just a phenomenal institution to be affiliated with.
Roger, let's get into the juicy stuff here. You lost the national game last week.
Oh no!
You come back home. You're playing one of the best teams in South Florida, in Deerfield Beach. How's it? Can you get a feel for your team and how
absolutely.
You bounce back from Deerfield Beach? Got to feel pretty good that they got a chance to come here and get an upset.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's about. You go out of state and you're hoping for the best, and the ball just doesn't bounce your way, and you got to deal with the reality and help our players and coaches cope with the difficulty of overcoming that frustrating experience, and then to calm some of the noise and distractions. So there's all kind of different challenges that you face as you prepare for a team like Deerfield, who has such a great tradition and extremely motivated. They have a lot of local talent and a ton of pride, not only from the athletic standpoint, but within their school as well. So you know that you're in for a battle whenever you're matched up against a team like Deerfield. They're a formidable opponent, but we're definitely looking forward to it. Probably the difference between us at St. Thomas and other organizations is that we look forward to these type of challenges and opportunities. We live for this.
Okay. Coach, we've got Coach Glenn here, but one more question real quick before we go. We touched on it a little bit. What's it like for you? What's it like for the kids to have guys like Sam Madison, Jason Taylor, a Hall of Famer, stand on your sideline helping coach these guys
He's a fireball, JT,
become better players and become better men?
No, it's a huge benefit. We're extremely fortunate. It's almost not even fair, but those guys do a great job of just falling right into the culture, and they just have done a great job of conforming to who we are here and at St. Thomas, and they're leaders, and they're just phenomenal human beings, great role models. And I know it sounds cliche, but you'd have to be here to see it, to get a full understanding of what I'm talking about. Those guys are extraordinary people, and we're all getting better as a result of having people like that on our side.
Well, Coach, wish you the best of luck tonight. Should be a great football game. It's certainly going to be a great atmosphere. It always is here in a great crosstown rivalry. So wish you the best of luck, and we're going to do the same thing for Javan Glen, the Deerfield head coach, as he steps in right now.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having us on. Go Dolphins.
All right, thank you.
Boy, we hope you're right about that. Go Dolphins. That sounded good.
Javan Glen, Deerfield Beach head coach.
Coach Glenn, first of all, how you feeling, man? As you sit down, we got to keep feeling out here.
Good. Yes, sir.
You've been under the weather a little bit.
A little bit under the weather.
We've all been in the weather for a long time now. You're under the weather, but you kind of things are starting to get back to normal.
Yes,
You're 3-1 football team. You've split over the last 4 years. You've been able to split with this team. This is your third year as a head coach. how do you anticipate this matchup tonight?
Oh, I mean, it's a great rivalry. I mean, the thing about it is our kids come in, I mean, there's a lot of respect both with the players and the coaches on both sides. But, I mean, our kids, they come in, they have no fear. They have big brothers, they have uncles that have played in this game, that have won this game. So, I mean, they've sat in the stands and watched, Deerfield win this game. So it's something that we circle on our calendars every year. This is something you can come out and measure yourself year in, year out. So, I mean, we're excited.
I told everybody you weren't going to miss this one.
Oh, no.
You made that clear, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey,
most definitely.
all right, I'm taking two, but I'm going to be here for this one.
I'd sacrifice Taravella and Dillard, but I'd drag my bed out here for this one.
What's the key? Both teams have real good defenses. Mm-hmm. Larry Bluestein's been raving about your defense and how good they were and how good they are right now. Is this a defensive matchup tonight? How do you look at it?
More like I think so. I mean, with the level of talent that they have on their defense, and they're the strengths of our teams right now. And in the early season for both teams, the defense has kind of been carrying us. So I mean, we got to come out and see which team offensively can not make mistakes, not make the big mistake, big turnovers, field possession, same thing. But both of us are gonna, hang our hats on our defense and look for our offense, hopefully to go ahead and pick it up and start to get going.
Because both teams stumbled on the road in the national game. You were up in New Jersey. They were in Arizona. How do you bounce back? And what does your team learn from going and playing games like that and coming out win or lose under those circumstances?
We want to make sure we put ourselves in different predicaments. You don't want to always. We pride ourselves. When I took over the Deerfield job, we're going to go out and play anybody anywhere. I want to be battle tested. I know a lot of coaches they'll set their schedule so they can be undefeated. Yeah, that looks really, really good. Looks cute. But then you get in playoff and you play against a real St. Thomas or a St. Joseph and you get smacked in the mouth. So I want to be able to look my team in the eyes in the playoffs and say we've been here before. Yeah. Now, we've been down. I mean, we fought back. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure they've been in those kind of contests, and you got to go out, you got to play the big boys to do that.
This is going to be one of those environments, those stands over there are going to be full.
Yes.
Some may be spilling over into stands on your side. So it's going to be a home field advantage for these guys. How do you guys fight through that?
I mean, for what we plan to do, the run that we're planning to make, we're going to have to go into hostile environments. Right. Yep. So this is a great opportunity, one of the best environments in South Florida, probably in the nation. Yep. So for us to be able to go in and fight through here and have the discipline and the focus, it'll only help us later on down the line.
Coach, you really built this program back up. Deerfield Beach went through some lean years and keeping kids and everything else there. You feel pretty good once you start winning. We've noticed you guys have started playing better. What's been the key to that for you?
Just getting out early. A lot of times, especially with the public schools, I hang my hat on. Sometimes they'll sit back and say, look what St. Thomas has. Look what American Heritage has. Right. I'm not one of those guys. I'm going to look what they have, and I'm going to go see how I can implement that in my program. Right. I'm going to give my community, the kids of my community, the parents of my community, something they can be proud of.
We're going to be good. Stay home. Let's do it here.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good stuff out here, and this should be really good. You're watching Football Friday here on the Audible, sponsored by UHealth, and Coach, it's going to be one of those games that it's going to be a 60-minute battle for you guys, but that's what it's all about. The question I got for you, you're on a basketball scholarship at FAU.
Yes.
How the hell did you end up being a football coach?
I've been at Deerfield 11 years now. I started off as the JV basketball coach. The principal asked me to go and help out with the JV, just for some discipline.
And here you are.
Team. And now here I am. I started out, I was washing clothes, doing the uniform. Yeah. So even now as the head coach, I'm still a laundry guy.
Yeah.
So, it works out. It works out. But I'm blessed. It's a great opportunity, great administration, great support, great kids. The community. So it makes it easy for me to come in and just put my imprint on it.
Yeah. We've also talked earlier. Bo and I were talking about Broward. Seems to be the top part of Broward has really caught up to Dade County overall in strength at the top. You feel that way when you look at Deerfield Beach, the way you guys are. Yeah. Cardinal Gibbons, St. Thomas, American Heritage Plantation. I even put Miramar in there. Yeah. Some teams coming back that can now compete with the Centrals, Northwesterns, Columbus, and the rest of Southridge and the rest of those teams.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think what it is, I think everybody now in Broward, maybe we're a little behind, but the switch to year-round football now. That's the key.
Point.
You can't consider yourself a serious program if you just play during the football season.
That's right.
So when you make that switch to year-round football, you're going to be able to put a better product, a better kid, a better young man out in the community. So that's something I think has been key here in Broward because now you can see everybody. Everybody's out in the summer. Everybody's in tournaments. Everybody's on college tours. And it's great for the young men. It's great for the community as a whole, all the communities.
Coach, these 7-on-7 tournaments are just blown up during the off season, catching on around the country. How much does that help you, both as a bonding with your teams and then the opportunity to go out with your skill guys and really match up against some great athletes? The athletes on the field in these 7-on-7 down Dayton, Broward County.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous,
Yes,
the type of athletes that are out there.
I mean, it's a tremendous bonus for us. I mean, you can go out and compete right here locally, and you can compete against some of the best in the country. So you go out, you get to build chemistry, you get to work on things. But one of the things that I think what I use it for is just the camaraderie with my kids. To go out and have that bunker mentality. It's us against the world. When we get to some of these places, I mean, it's just us. We're 22 deep or 40 deep. This is all we got, so we got to go to war with it. And that transitions when we come back and we get into the season.
Well, Coach, we certainly wish you the best of luck. It's going to be a fun one to watch tonight, and hopefully it stays dry out here.
More importantly, stay healthy.
I will.
We need to keep you around, man.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys for having me.
All right.
Thanks.
Good luck
Great
tonight.
stuff.
I think we've got, let me see, I think we got the principal from Deerfield, John Marlowe, joining us now. John, thanks for stopping by for a little bit, man.
Thanks for having me.
John, thank you.
It's going to be a fun one tonight, isn't it?
I'm sure. I'm looking forward to it. Every year we always pencil this game in for St. Thomas, and it's a great rivalry.
As a principal, when you look at Deerfield Beach, how important is the athletic program, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, all the different sports you participate in? How important is it to your students and to your school?
Yeah, extremely important. You know, and you can even say it more for the other extracurricular activities that take place. But the athletic programs there, it really teaches the kids a lot. It teaches sportsmanship. It teaches them how to work as a team. It teaches them preparation. It teaches them to go out on game day and really execute their game plan. So it really teaches them a lot. Life job skills. It teaches them. So we look forward to all those activities that we have.
How about the schedule? You guys going national, come back St. Thomas. You like that? I know your coach was just talking about he likes playing the big games. He thinks it's going to be good down the road here, trying to win a state championship.
Coach Glenn wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, he looks forward to the big games. He looks forward to he likes to do a presentation. He likes to do an event that takes place, you know, whether it's at Deerfield or whether he's going out of town. He even does it during the jamborees. He'll get the top games during the jamborees, and he really wants to put the kids in position to get better. So it's outstanding.
Joe talked about a little bit the Deerfield Beach back on the rise, becoming one of those
Pride's
really good
back.
Football team. The pride's back.
Yeah.
And you get the coach in there. Well, what has he meant to your program, getting you guys to where you're at right now?
It was a great choice for him to come to Deerfield Beach High School. You know, he was actually one of our basketball coaches who's been there for about 9 years. And every time we saw kids after school working out, we saw him right in the middle of it. And I honestly think that there's two things that really bring the best out of kids is working them during the summer. The kids want to work. The kids want to be part of a program. They want structure. And Coach Glenn was really part of getting them in there. And then being there for him, you know, definitely being there for him and being a role model for him.
Well, certainly a great role model. We had a chance to talk to him, and just a super guy. You can see that, and loves his program, loves the kids, and so like everyone that sits down here, we wish you the best of luck tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch.
It's going to be a fun one to watch. We appreciate you stopping by.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Who we got coming up next? We got George coming up. George Smith coming up, the athletic director at. Athletic director. I got a bio.
I just say the house at Georgeville.
I got a bio of him, but it's like 5 pages long. So 6 high school state championships, 10 as an AD, 361 and 66 record. One of the grumpiest men I've ever met in my life.
You mentioned the national championships. He seems to forget about
it. For 10 of these state championships, I think every year I ask him, Coach, how are you going to be? We'll be lucky if we win 2 games. And then you're in the state championship game and you win them. National championships, it's all on your resume, Coach. You got to feel pretty proud for what your athletes, what the guys you've coached, the students that have been here have accomplished during your time here.
Well, guys, I definitely welcome both of you. You have connections to this school with your kids went to the deal and the whole thing. And I think that the whole deal that we have so many good players and not good players, but they're all, for the most part, are good human beings, and I think that I'm more proud about that than anything else. So
I always wonder because you see it every time we go to an NFL game. One of your former players is playing on one of the teams that got the most players in the NFL. It seems like every year. How much pride do you take in that? Seeing how many guys have gone on and playing at a high level in the NFL?
Well, Joe, not so much in the NFL, but so much on college and things like this. A guy came back today. He graduated from Central Florida, didn't play there, played for us, but he's in pre-law, and we're going to hire him as a substitute teacher, and then next year he's going to Nova Southeastern do his, his law degree. And those are the things that nobody talks about.
Yep.
You know, they talk about Joey Boza and James White and those things. And, you know,
it's pretty good to talk about.
You could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, very much so.
Absolutely. Coach, you've got it sometimes when you walk around here when it's all quiet and you look around and you remember what this school was and this athletic program was when you first got here. And you look at where it's at now, both from an athletic standpoint, from a football standpoint, facilities-wise, the whole thing, academically, what they've grown to. You sometimes you just got to pinch yourself and go, wow, this has been a heck of a ride, and this school has come a long, long way from the first day you stepped on campus.
Well, Bo, when I came here in 1972, we had 720 kids.
Yeah.
Right now we're about 2150 or something like that. But that's the administration and the teachers, and in reality, the parents too, that bought in what we were trying to do, like you guys did. And that's very proud of me to see what we can do before I get out of here. And we have a big project in softball and baseball to turf that. Right now it's going on. Hopefully you guys can tuck around and see that little teeny scoreboard there that blew down in the hurricane, and we have to go out and do the best thing we can to replace that. People are going to be proud of that. But it's a mix of administration, teachers, parents, kids.
Yeah, the community of St. Thomas Aquinas, and you know, again, both of our kids went here, and one thing I learned when being here is just it's more than the school, it's a community that St. Thomas puts out there. And whether you're an athlete, whether you're a student, whether you're a janitor, or whether you're a teacher, it's all part of a big family.
Well, I agree with that. And obviously, Joe had a guy play here, and he had the girls go through, and so did he. And Garen is doing great now.
Doing great. Yeah, thank you.
And the girls too.
Yep,
and that's kind of part of it. I think that the administration and the community inside the school forces these kids to overachieve. You know, I'm looking at somebody that's got a 6.0, and Rex Knight to them is a 2.4, and all of a sudden the 2.4 is now a 3.0.
George, I think these national games are great. What have they been like for St. Thomas? You guys seem to be the lead dogs here in South Florida for going around and playing people, or sometimes coming here. How do you feel about the national games?
Joe, being honest with you, my whole idea of this thing is to play two. We played Bosco here, went out to Centennial, Arizona next week. Probably the first game, we're looking at De La Salle or Centennial in California, and bring somebody else on the course, down here. And I just think that is what has to happen if we're going to get into that deal. And I want to be in that as hard as I can.
That's great.
Coach, we appreciate it. Coach, I always call you Coach anyway. I'm going to call you Coach for as long as I can.
Coach, thank you.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, Joe.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Say hi to everybody.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
We got to make way for the big guy over here.
Yeah, we brought the big guy out here.
He wouldn't do anything to you, but he might kick our ass if we don't get him down here pretty soon. Here.
I am dressing him out.
Yeah.
I got his size.
Yeah.
He's going to play 4
He
games.
might have one game eligibility. You're going to put him out here?
And he's going to.
He told me he's got one game of high school eligibility left. You better get it while you can, man.
Well, he has 8 reps. That's it. Come on, big guy.
George, thank you.
George, thanks a lot, man. Always a pleasure. Join us now, Ndamukong Suh, Dolphin defensive tackle here on the Audible Football Friday edition, brought to you by UHealth. And Ndamukong, you come out here, and this is kind of a continuation of what the Dolphins did this last year, inviting teams, youth teams, girls football teams, high school teams to come out and interact with you guys. And as that was going on, hey, I'd like to come see one of your games.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
we've had guys now at just about every game we've gone to. One of the guys comes out. Now you got a couple other guys with you here. Why do you come out for these games? Why does this mean a lot to you?
Honestly, it's fun. I've enjoyed it. I like coming out and seeing the kids and supporting them, see their eyes get wide and excited, even that much more pumped up. Honestly, it happens to us when they come out to our games and our practices, and we see them on the sidelines. They're so close. It really amps us up. But I've always had fun with it. I did it when I was in Detroit as well. Surprise kids, so it's something that's kind of in my blood.
Hey, it's great to see. Did you see who we brought with? We got Gottschall, we got Taylor out here, the young guys, man. So they're asking you questions to get better at practice, and they're with you after.
It's like a mama duck and the ducklings walking behind her.
Those guys have been great, though. I talked to you this morning about that.
Yeah, they've honestly been great. I've enjoyed them. Obviously, they're great kids, came from great backgrounds from Oklahoma State and LSU. So 2-story programs. Obviously, we've taken care of business against one of them for sure in Oklahoma State. But it's fun. I enjoy being around them. They're great kids, and I think they're going to understand as they grow, it's going to be them teaching me different things that they see and vice versa. So I'm excited for us and what we're gonna continue to grow as we go into the season.
You've been in the league for a long time. You're 30 years old now. You're becoming one of the elder statesmen. It's hard to believe. But this is a young football team.
Yeah.
And you got young guys like that. Does that energize you a little bit, having that youth, that youthful enthusiasm?
No question. You got to be on your toes at all times. I mean, Bobby McCain is always giving me crap all the time, so I got to make sure I got my jokes ready for him. But no, it's good. I'm honestly, they're fresh. They're always energized. There's no lull in practices. It's just really focusing on and having detail-oriented practices. That may be the only downside for it, but it's not really a downside. It's just being keen and understanding what we have to get accomplished each and every week.
No, we talked about this week, coming back home, really having a home game for the first time since August 17th or something. There's a little urgency with this game.
You're going to be able to find your way to the stadium?
It'll be tough. I'll find my way down the turnpike somewhere. It's either 1A or 2A or 2X, something like that.
There you go. But as he said, you're coming back, having a chance to play at home. It is a home openers. I don't care if you play them in week 1 or week 14. It's always going to get you jacked up.
There's always great excitement. I think guys are all excited about it. I think we're looking forward to it. Obviously excited about our fans and seeing what we can drum up for them, what excitement we can on the offensive defensive side of the ball. And really, it's going to be great to be in Hard Rock Stadium. The last time I was there, it was loud and exciting. Enjoyed it when we played against Baltimore. So now we've got a real live action game, all 4 quarters, and it's going to be fun.
How's your patience with the offense? Everybody wants to know. You've been saying, hey, they're going to get caught up. They'll be fine. How you guys holding up?
I have no problem with it, to be honest with you. There's always going to be bad times and good times. And as I've said it before, as I spoke about earlier today, it's about us all playing perfect. We've never played perfect. I haven't played perfect. Our defense hasn't. Our special teams, nobody has. So until we do that, then we have something to be worried about. So at the end of the day, we always have things that we want to strive for, and I understand where our offense is and things that we need to fight through. Obviously, it's via the conversations that we have each and every day, especially with the head coach. But I'm excited for what they have planned for this week. I think there's going to be a lot of fun and excitement that the fans should be excited about as well.
Well, right, tonight we have St. Thomas and Deerfield Beach, a great rivalry, and 2 very good football teams, both at 3-1. You come out here. Do you think back to your high school days? Does it bring back some of those Friday nights?
I do. I mean, I looked at this big kid. I believe it was 55 or 59. I was like, wow. I tell you,
there's some big
guys. I got kids like that.
We were down in Dade County a couple of weeks ago, and we were with that offensive line. Man, their offensive line, 6'6", 6'7", 6'5". Holy, that's a high school football team.
No question. So, and obviously it's top tier. So I'm excited to see these guys play, and obviously it's a big rivalry. They've played each other many times before, so I'm excited to see about how they go about it.
2 really good defenses, too, both. This is Ndamukong's kind of game.
It's my type of game.
It'll be real physical there.
Coach Smith trying to get him in the uniform and get a few plays out of him out here.
Coach Smith trying to see if you want to go back and play 8 or 10 plays. He sets the rules for high school, so you can probably do it, right?
No question. Maybe I'll play a little offense and get a chance to get back over on that side of the ball.
Did you ever play offense at some point?
I did. I went both ways in high school. Played O-line, played D-line, did punting, did a little kicking. So I enjoy it. Yeah,
you're the backup kicker on the team, right?
I'll enjoy it. If I get an opportunity, Coach puts me out there, I'm going to make the most of it. Excuse me.
What's it been like around? Guys come back home from the London trip and stuff. What's it been like all week in there? Everybody rebound pretty good?
I think there was a little bit of lull on Monday. Obviously disappointed. Obviously coming back from a little bit of jet lag. But as we got into Wednesday, things were back to normal. Understanding we have a big task ahead of us, especially on the defense side of the ball with that great offense that we're going to go against. But then offensively, I think guys were fiery, ready to go. Good. I mean, Pouncey's out there running around, having fun, pushing people. Obviously, we're competing. And that's the biggest thing that we can ask for at this point in time. Executing as we came into this last Friday practice before we get into our Saturday walkthrough tomorrow, guys are ready, and it feels good around the locker room and a good understanding of what we need to get accomplished.
We all like to be inside, man. See what's going on. Like, hey, you guys feel good about this one? Oh, good.
Hey, so we thank you for stopping by. I know you're going to enjoy the game tonight, enjoy the atmosphere. And while you're here, you got to get a George Smith, Doc. It's just like George Smith. A little dry and always tough. So, but go ahead and have one. Put some mustard and relish on it.
I think I'll pass on that one. But I appreciate the offer.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you as always.
All right, take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. That's going to do it for the Audible Football Friday edition, sponsored by UHealth. Joe Rose, Kim Bokamper, going to be a great game.
You and George Smith and Ndamukong Suh. Never thought we'd see that combo.
Let me remind you, if you want to watch this game, you can watch it on the Miami Dolphins High School Live show page on Facebook. That's the Miami Dolphins High School Live show page on Facebook. You can watch St. Thomas, Deerfield Beach game live. Keep an eye. Well, I said keep an eye. I'm going to keep an eye for Ndamukong Suh. You're just sitting right here.
Yeah,
so
keep the eyes right here. You see him. By the way, the cameras. I thought this was a nationally televised game. These big-ass cameras out here, they're all over the place.
It's big time.
Is that Facebook? Who paid for it? Is that a Facebook special?
I think Jason Jenkins paid for it. I think he paid for it.
I'm not very good on Facebook, but I like him.
He gave up 1/90 of his salary and paid for the whole production out here. So, you know. I'm gonna try to squeeze. I'm gonna try to squeeze him for a couple bucks before I get out here. All right, that's gonna do it for the show today. Joe Rose, Kim Bokamper. We'll see you Monday again, as we'll be. I'm not sure when we'll be. Hopefully, we'll be early, because if we're early, it means we won. We've got players on, so stick around. Just keep up with us, and we'll let you know we're on. For that, other than that, have a good weekend. Go Dolphins. We'll see you Sunday at the stadium, Hard Rock Stadium, 1 o'clock. Dolphins and Tennessee Titans. That's going to be a good one too. Joe, always a pleasure, my man.
Thanks, Bo.
We'll catch you next time. We'll catch you guys next time. We'll see you.
Thank you.